Welcome everybody to FYC Film Review. I am your host Gagne. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Nald Dog. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? How's it going, everybody?
Uh,
What's going on?
I'm happy to get back into this routine, man. I'm feeling good about it. You know, the weather's getting nicer. I'm
Okay,
getting out more, and we're watching movies again.
that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. It's a lot of work, though, isn't it? I think it's a lot.
Hey, yeah. It depends. You know. Yeah. The setups. You know, the setup's a little bit much, but you know, we're
Yeah,
getting there. We're
we're
getting
getting
there.
there. Small beginnings. We'll get there. We'll get there. All
What's on
right.
top for our viewers today, sir?
Well, got back in our time machine, and we went back into the '80s because for some reason we just find ourselves going back to the '80s, and we decided to pick an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Is this the first one we're doing with Mr. Arnold?
This is our first
This
Arnold.
is the first one, right?
Yeah.
So we went to 1987 and we picked out the action, manly, packed movie Predator. Oh, it's just a manly movie.
It is testosterone to the max. Yes, absolutely. It's probably, you know, the first real movie I remember like an entourage of people that you recognized, you know, from like just so many other films and, you know, wrestlers and other actors that, you know, were big time. I mean, you got Apollo Creed in this movie. It was the first time like I really remember like, wow, like this felt like a movie star movie, you know?
Yeah, it was action packed, full of muscles. It was like the old Expendables, like what
The original
Expendables.
Expendables. Yeah.
Original
Yeah.
Expendables, yeah. It is rated R, for gore and violence.
Language.
Language, lots of language, yes. Directed by John McTiernan, who, if you don't know who John McTiernan is, he directed Die Hard. Die
Yes.
Hard.
Excellent,
Um,
excellent action director. He knows how to do
yes,
the genre and does it so well.
he does, yeah. And the person who scored this movie, because I always find the composer, is Alan Silvestri. And for all of you who do not know who Alan Silvestri is, he has a collection. I think he gets lost in the shuffle between Hans Zimmer and like the John Williams, but his collection of movies that he scored is off the charts.
Hit us with some.
He scored my favorite movie, Back to the Future. And for all you
Mm.
young kids, for one of modern day movie, he scored your Marvel's Avengers movie. So that's how big he is.
Good facts. That's
Yeah.
a good fun fact. I actually forgot that he did Avengers, but yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
Back to the Future. Come on, yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing, I mean, just opening credits, you hear the deep drums and you're instantly like, okay, who's this? Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's excellent. I mean, it's the first thing I noted, and you just instantly remember like, oh, that's right, and you just know when a composer that you enjoy is doing a movie. There's something about their style that just instantly draws you and. I was very happy to see it. I mean, it's a well put together movie. It's a very cheese filled action movie, but there's so much good to this that I loved it. It's been 15 years since I saw it, so
Yeah.
I was thoroughly engaged and enjoying it. My family, not so much.
No, it's an '80s thing. I think you have to like these '80s movies, or probably been born in that era, because I think if you just watch these movies now, you'd be like, okay, pass. But I liked it. I really liked it, and it's a very simple movie. It's a super simple movie. It's not really hard to understand, and it starts right off the bat. You got these guys in helicopters going on a mission. There's no background. They don't drag it out. It's like right in the beginning, you see this this chopper full of guys going into the jungle to do something. And that's how it starts out. However, I will note that this is the first time that I noticed in the very beginning that it opens up kind of like Star Wars, and with in outer space and the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I noticed a spaceship that dropped the alien down to Earth, and that's the first time I noticed that. So because I was a kid watching this, and I shouldn't have
Sure.
been watching it as a kid, but you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because in talking to my wife as we're watching, she's like, "When did you see this?" You know, it's an '87 movie, it's 6, 7. You know, I think that I maybe was 9 or 10. I mean, it was definitely still too young, but I want to say that's probably where I saw it. What about you?
Yeah, I would say so. 10, 11. I mean, it was just, I'm sure I saw it with probably my brothers, or maybe not even my brothers, just some friends, and we rented it. And it's just Arnold being Arnold, doing what he does best. And I got to tell you, man, I really think this is one of his better movies, his older movies. He's really great in it.
Yeah, this is like Arnold Prime. I mean, it's right after Commando.
Yeah.
It's, right before, I don't know, God, I can't remember what would be probably next for him. But I mean, fun fact, he had to lose like 25 pounds for this movie. So even though he looks so ripped,
Yeah.
he actually was a lot smaller than he was normally because he they were trying to portray, like an elite commando, and he felt like he needed to be more, able to be agile, which can make sense for the ending scene.
Yeah. Okay. 25 pounds. There's your first fun fact, people. Um, I like you said, you talked about the cast in this movie. You got Carl Weathers, who
Apollo
is
Creed.
Apollo Creed, right? He's
Yes.
best known for Apollo Creed. You got Jesse the Body Ventura, who it's his first movie, and you got a couple of other actors. Uh, Fun fact number two: this movie gave us two governors, Governor of California and the Governor of Minnesota, Jesse
Yes.
Ventura. So, fun fact number two, people.
Could you imagine sitting in a theater and, like, those guys are going to be a governor someday?
Nope.
Like, oh
Nope.
yeah,
Nope.
yeah, that guy's a wrestler, and this guy's not even born in this country. Sure, they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I got another fun fact about the cast for you because, I mean, this is just nostalgia supreme.
okay.
Hawkins is played by Shane Black, who goes on to write the Lethal Weapon film.
Okay.
He's the writer of Lethal Weapon, creator of Lethal Weapon, and who also later on ends up directing, Robert Downey Jr. in some Iron Man movie. And he's a big time, Hollywood writer director. And he started in this. He was literally writing Lethal Weapon while he was on set filming this movie.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. That's fun fact number three. Good job, man.
We got lots. We got lots. Be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared. One of my favorite shots in the movie was when he first meets Apollo's character. What's his name? Apollo's character is Dylan.
Yeah, I
Dylan.
was gonna say
Dylan.
Jason, but Dylan, yes.
Yeah, Dylan is Apollo's character, and Arnold is his name is Dutch. And they first meet, and you get this handshake, and you see their bulging biceps. It's just one of those shots that just always stays with me when this movie. You got Apollo's biceps and Arnold's bicep, and they just go, and it's very
And they arm wrestle in the air.
yes, that's what it is. It's not even a handshake; it's an
Yeah.
arm wrestle
Yeah.
in the air. Yeah, this
The
movie has a lot of testosterone.
big measuring contest, if you will.
Yes,
But
yeah,
it's, I mean, it's good. I noted as the movie progressed that everyone started to wear less and less clothes. And so they hit the jungle and they're fully decked out. And obviously the
okay,
jungle's hot. So, you have to naturally take clothes off. But like by the end of the movie, Arnold's basically in his skivvies. He's not even, wearing clothes anymore. He's just covered in mud. But it's like, it happens with all the characters. Like all of a sudden, Carl Weathers is just rocking a vest, just like Arnold is behind you. Like you're like,
yeah.
where are your clothes going? You just
You
shedding them.
can't fight bad guys without shedding some clothes and showing your muscles. It's an intimidation process,
Very true.
right?
Yeah, this movie's, again, it's testosterone to the nth degree. It's guns that look like they've been like fused together. I don't even know if they're real guns. I was like looking at some of them and I'm like, I don't know that's I think they'd like put a shotgun on another machine gun to make it look very, very large.
Jesse Ventura's gun, that mini gun,
Yes.
is so memorable. It is just so memorable, and to this day, I look at something like I see that gun, and it takes me back to Predator. I don't need. I'm sure those guns exist. I mean, that's
Sure.
just a killing machine. You don't need one of those machines, but um, eh, it's crazy. But yeah, there's all these guns and explosions, and one of the scenes I really liked was when I just wrote down "murdering the forest." Is when Jesse Ventura
Yes.
dies, right?
Yes.
And everybody, it's because they can't see the predator. The predator, he has this, he can camouflage himself like the forest, and they can't see him. Jesse Ventura dies, so everybody starts shooting the forest. I mean, they destroy the forest until there's nothing left. It's a good scene. It's a very manly scene.
It's a great scene because it's so long. It's like
Yeah.
it's probably only 60 seconds, but it feels like it's like 5 minutes long. And as everybody in the group realizes that someone else has joined to go shoot, they join and start shooting as well. No
Yeah.
regard of like what's happening and that everyone else has already been firing their bullets for the last 30 seconds. Let me just jump right in and start shooting. And
It's
it's the
chaos.
best. It's
Yeah.
chaos. It's
It's
absurd.
chaos.
That gun that you mentioned about Jesse Ventura carrying
Right. Yeah.
is literally supposed to be like mounted on Huey helicopters. Like they're not meant to be carried around. It's a
Okay.
Gatling gun.
The
It's
Gatling
like
gun. Yeah.
he's just I'm gonna carry this around because it looks badass. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what this
So
movie is.
the plot of this movie, and correct me if I'm wrong, these guys go into the jungle. Dylan, Carl Weathers, tells them they need to go on a mission to kill these gorillas, right?
Right.
And they go in and they realize that's not the mission, or they're being hunted,
Yeah.
right? They're just being hunted, and they end up being hunted by this alien. There's no real rhyme or reason why this alien is doing it. All I could think of now, I haven't seen the other ones where I don't know if they explain it, but it just seems like he's killing for sport. That's
Sure.
all he's doing, is just killing for sport. There's no reason given why this alien, this predator, is doing the things that he's doing. I mean, he's not just murdering them, he's he's opening them up and collecting their skulls and
Yeah.
ripping out their spinal cords. It's very Mortal Kombat-ish. So there's no reason, and it's simple, but it works. It really works. I don't know why. It tends to work. And usually I want movies to give me some kind of reason or some kind of purpose, but this doesn't give you that. And it's okay. It's okay to just sit back and relax and enjoy what's happening on the screen.
I agree. I think it's a clever aspect, and maybe they just didn't have a huge backstory or time to tell a huge backstory. But I think it's a clever way to carry suspense through, what could be a silly action movie, because you don't know what it is and you don't know what its motives are, and because of that, it almost seems more ominous.
Yeah.
And I love that about it. I love that you don't, like a lot of good, I think, horror sci-fi films like Alien, you don't get a good glimpse of the character until much later in the film.
Sure.
And so by the time it actually happens, you're like, holy, or you have Arnold's reaction, which we'll get to some good lines here.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that because of, that reasoning, I like that you don't know much. I think they do get to it a little bit in the second movie, and it's still very vague. It's just basically, like you said, they like to hunt for sport. So they like to go after the biggest and baddest, thing that they can hunt, and see if they are successful.
Sure. The hostage, the girl, Anna was her name. Again, stuff that I finally caught as an adult versus a kid.
Mhm.
The predator doesn't kill her because she doesn't have a gun. She's not a threat. You
Mhm.
know?
It's not sport if it's not a challenge.
Yes.
So she
Yeah.
wasn't, like you said, she wasn't a threat. She wasn't attacking him.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of speaks to why, again, the ending is actually pretty clever too. Like he, at some point, he's like, Arnold's injured, and it's not sport for him to like go after him. Like you're hurt. You're not going to beat me. So I'm going to walk away from you. He leaves him. That's, he's like, I'm not going to mess with them. So I like that, again, that aspect of the predator. He's got
Yeah.
morals.
Because he's got morals. This alien's got morals.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. All right, let's get to the worst line. You ready?
Hit me. You go first.
You want me to go first?
Tell me what you got.
All right.
I'll be interested to know if it's a bad line or if this is like, because there's so many cheesy one-liners in this.
No, it's a bad line.
Okay.
It's a
All
bad line, and this movie's filled with cheesy lines.
Yeah.
And so it's when they're fighting the enemies, not the predator, but the other
gorillas.
The gorillas, yeah. And they're just basically picking him off. And here comes Arnold. He takes this huge knife and he throws it at one of them, and he gets him in the stomach. He looks at the camera, has this cheesy smile, and goes, "Stick around."
Yeah. Stick around.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's my bad line. It's a bad line. It's a cheesy line. It was
totally
pretty bad.
cheesy.
Yeah.
It's bad. I will give you, it's kind of a one-off line. I just thought it was poorly delivered. Carl Weathers is having a hard time keeping Anna, from staying with the group, and
Sure.
he gets away like the second time. And that one-off guy that ends up dying, I forget the character's name, just random white dude who isn't cool. He goes, "Maybe you should put a leash on her, Agent Man."
Maybe you better put her on a leash, Agent Man.
And you're like, why didn't you use his name? Like, why does she, like, it was very like, okay. Like I like the one-liners. Like Arnold
Okay.
himself says that "Get to the choppa" is his like, favorite line that he's ever delivered. And so there's just, the stick around, the I ain't got time to bleed. There's so many good one-liners from these guys. I love that they got some time to chew up some scenery.
So this movie did give us the "get to the choppa" line. This is where it comes from. So if you guys are fans of Arnold and you've heard "get to the choppa," it comes from the Predator.
Go! Get to the chopper!
So there you go.
Yeah, it gives us the one of my first memories of a booby trap montage. Before Home Alone.
Oh, he
And
does Home Alone him. He does Home Alone him.
Totally
Yeah.
Home Alone's him.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
takes the jungle and turns it into a booby trap, and I love that. Again, with Silvestri's wonderful score, like that's a good 5 minutes of film. I love watching it.
Yeah. Did you
Reminds-
catch the Predator had a surgical kit? He was
Yeah.
basically doing surgery on his arm. I thought that was pretty. I was like,
can we throw
"Ooh."
another fun fact out?
Sure, go for it.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original Predator.
Ah, so good. I had that
Yes.
one too.
Okay.
Good stuff.
And I want to talk about it because when you brought up the surgical kit, it even though Stan Winston, amazing special effects guy,
Yeah.
I mean, did so many of our childhood, but you watch him like tapping the suit, and it's just like these long rubber gloves. And I'm also just trying to picture Jean-Claude Van Damme standing next to Arnold Schwarzenegger and it trying to be intimidating. That's one of the reasons they were like, nah, it's not happening.
I heard it was he had issues with the suit.
Yeah, it was 200 pounds.
200 pounds. And the guy that they got to be in this costume,
Mhm.
he was over 7 feet or at least 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I think he was 7'5". Yeah,
7'5".
Kevin
Yes.
Hall had a
Yeah.
really short Hollywood career. He was Harry in the Hendersons.
Was he? Okay.
He was Harry. Yeah, and he was Predator and Predator 2 as well. But yeah, 7'5". I think you got to look bigger than Arnold. I mean, you can't have something like this that's tearing everybody apart, and then have bodybuilders, going against it. It just wouldn't make sense. So
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Jean-Claude Van Damme in the Predator suit. Was he going to
Yeah.
do like roundhouse kicks right through the
that's
air?
what they wanted. They wanted it to be this like agile thing,
Okay.
and so they cast him initially, and then they were like, well, this isn't going to work. Like this just doesn't make sense. So on
Okay.
top of the fact, like you said, suit problem. So
Suit problems.
Suit.
All right. The finale. I really like the finale. He does Home Alone the Predator. He sets up all these booby traps. He gets covered in mud, and then we realize, oh crap, the Predator can't see him because he can only see in infrared or something.
yeah, which I thought was a
Yeah.
cool effect for, the 80s. I don't remember seeing that in anything before this. I thought that was a good special effect for the time.
Yeah, and I think you touched upon on this, that I was going to ask why you thought that the Predator didn't kill him, and clearly it wasn't a challenge right there. That's why the Predator, but he had him by his neck. He had Arnold
Yep.
by his neck. Let him go. Predator steps away, and Predator just takes his part of his suit off, takes his mask off or something, and he goes, "Let's do this."
Yeah.
Basically, I guess he does have morals. The Predator does have morals, and
Yeah.
he wants a good fight. So then he got a good fight with Arnold. So the Predator is pinned down by this big tree, boulder, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
right? And he opens up his thing on his arm, and is basically a bomb that's ready to be set off. And he starts laughing. I realized this go around that laugh that he was Billy's laugh that he recorded.
Yeah.
Did he record that laugh as because he was menacing? Or did
I don't
he
know.
you know what I mean? It's like the Predator has no concept of what's going on. He doesn't know what's to be human. So he's playing this laugh because he knows he won, because he knows he's going to kill Arnold, or maybe this is too deep. See, this is
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
Forget it. Forget it. I don't need to go there.
I don't know. Why do we record half the stuff we record? Because we think it's cool. Predator was like, hey, I like
Yeah.
that guy's laugh. He's got a deep voice. He's cool. He
Yeah.
can sense me, even though he can't see me. So
Okay. Fun fact. Here's another fun fact. I don't even know what number we're on. I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll put it on when I edit this. Fun fact number something. Peter Cullen, the guy who voiced Optimus
God, you
Prime,
got it. Okay.
voiced the
Yeah.
Predator.
Yep.
So Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime, Transformers.
Yeah, that's an excellent pull. I had no
Yeah.
idea. You know, when you watch that stuff, or you know, most of the time, you just like I no concern about like, oh, someone needed to voice this
Nope.
character. You know, you're just
Yeah.
you assume it's like, yeah, they figured it out and they just made noises, whatever. But
Yeah.
you know, the fact they get a big name actor like that to actually do that, it's pretty
I
impressive.
I think he goes uncredited too. I didn't see his name,
As long as
so
he got paid,
yeah.
good for him.
I
Dude's been
guess.
doing voices forever. He is my childhood.
Yeah, I really like Billy. Billy, the tracker, the
Yes,
expert tracker. I don't know if he was Native American. He seemed like he was part Native American.
that was the implication, but the actor
Yeah,
wasn't. Yeah,
yeah, he was. It's a really weird, cool character, I thought. And then the way he dies, he just stands up on this log and he takes his shirt off again, taking shirt off, showing your muscles, and he
yep,
grabs a knife, grabs his machete. I think it's a machete, and he's
sure.
just kind of he cuts himself, and then you just hear the scream, and that's it, nothing
Yeah.
else. So I thought, is he sacrificing himself? He knew everyone was going to die because he said we're all going to die, but was he just sacrificing himself because he knew there was no way out, or he was buying some time for the other people?
Yeah, I took it as like a, hey, you've beat us. Like, come get me, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe that, you know, is also altruistic. He was also looking for, you know, buying people time. But yeah, I totally took that as like he's just, you know, he knows he's beat. There's no way that they're winning this. So just come get me. You know, blood's
Yeah.
in the water. Come get
That's
me.
true.
Shark.
That's true. Let's rate it. I think it's time for rate it.
Yeah. I didn't think about a rating for this, but you know, I was gonna be like bullets.
How about choppas?
Choppas, yes.
Choppas?
Choppas is it.
Choppas?
Yeah.
How many choppas
does
are
it
we
get?
going to give this? All right, choppas. Out
All
of 5 choppas, 1 choppa being really bad, and 5 choppas being really good.
Gotta do the deep choppa.
Get to the choppa. All right, you go first.
I'm going 4. I'm going 4 choppas. Choppas. I can't do a good Arnold anymore. It's a good movie, honestly. I think it's a little dated, you know, but not bad. You know, your setting is a jungle. It's, you know, it's commandos going into stop a predator. You know, I think it's decently acted. I think it's done by, you know, somebody who knows what they're doing and knows how to make action flicks.
Yeah.
It's got a great score to it. It's got good visual effects, and it's the first time you see the Predator, who goes on to be, you know, this giant franchise, you know, making monster, if you will, I guess, you know. But it's, I mean, games and sequels and crossovers, and it's just this is the best of the bunch still to me. Even watching Shane Black actually has done a Predator movie. He goes from starring in a Predator movie to writing and directing one, and even that wasn't anywhere close to this.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it 4 choppas.
Oh, choppas. Okay, that's good. That's a good score. I'm gonna go with 3.5 choppas because it's a little dated. It's good. I think in order to watch this, you don't go in there expecting much. Just kind of go in there, shut off your brain a little bit, and just enjoy the ride. This was Arnold at his best, I thought, and I really love the setting. I think anytime you have a movie take place in the jungle or some kind of forest where there's just luscious green all over, it's gonna look good, and it looks really good. The score is great. It always keeps you on edge, and I like how the fact they don't show the predator right away. They reveal him very slowly. At times it's just, you know, it's nothing, it's just leaves moving, then it's a camouflage predator, and then they finally reveal him, and then they reveal even more when he takes off his mask. He's got mandibles, and it's just this ugly looking thing. So it's really cool. I mean, what's his name, Stan Winston or Sam Winston?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great makeup effects artist, probably the best. So yeah, for me, 3.5. Do I recommend this movie? I do. I will recommend this movie. It's there's a lot of testosterone. I felt like it was growing hair on top of my chest hair. So
growing chest.
yeah, it's one of those movies that you just you when you're done watching it, you're just sweating a lot. So I recommend it based on the fact that it's one of Arnold's best. I think not his best, but one of his best. He looks really good in this. So 3.5 for me.
Top 5 Arnold movie for sure.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
dig it.
3.5 choppas.
I dig it. Watch it. Yes, it's an 80s action flick, but it's a well done 80s action flick. So it's one that I absolutely would tell people, if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it, just for the lines, for the machine guns, the testosterone.
For the muscles. For the muscles.
Do your homework. Go grow some chest hairs, and tune into our next episode because I think we're done here. I think we are. We're going to get to the choppa and go on to our next episode. We'll see you guys next time. Please make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.